Okay, let's do it. So, welcome to our very first meet here, and this is our introduction. It's not even, I don't even know if I want to call it the first episode. I'm here with Alina, my beautiful lady, who it took lots of convincing just to get out here. I'm sorry I had to ruin your hair for getting the headphones over your head, but she's here. Thanks for being here. She's the one that's kind of behind the scenes. Everything I do involves her, so everything we do as a family, we do kind of as a unit. So whether it's real estate, whether it's everything in ministry, even some of the crazy stuff that she frowns upon, sometimes when I pull my finger on the trigger, she's behind all of it. So I think it would be, shallow or one dimensional of me just to be real estate only. And part of this happening actually precipitated from a conversation I had with a couple people I met at a conference. I'm a pretty social dude. And walked up to a couple people at a church conference. Was like, "Hey, man, I'm Geno. So and so. I serve here." And they're like, "Oh, yeah, I know who you are. You're a realtor. I follow you on social media." And I was like, "Oh, cool. Okay. As far as the following, that sounded like it was pretty cool." And then I stepped back and I was like, that's all they know about me. That all they know about me is that I sell real estate. They don't know anything about my family. They don't know anything about. Really, I think when I say they don't know anything about me, I think it all ended up coming down to they don't know what God's doing in my life, what we do, and I really felt the need to expand on it. And it was one of a couple different moments that happened in my life that I was like, this has to happen. So we do it with her. She's here. I know she's a little bit shy right now, but thank you, babe, for being here.
Thank you for having me here. Is that what am I supposed to say? Okay, what about us do you want me to tell people? We've been married for 13 years. We have two amazing, beautiful daughters. I don't stay home. I used to stay home, but now with a friend, she runs a co-op. I help her out, and I homeschool our older one for half the day, and then she has a tutor, and then the 7-year-old, almost called her an 8-year-old, is in a co-op class. So that's what I do on the daily. When it comes to our family, we do everything together. We serve together. We basically, our thing is if we can't do it together as a family, we really don't want to, unless it's like work for you, which I support you fully from the backside where nobody can see me, and I'm totally fine with that and okay with it. I think you're more comfortable
doing things like this
than I am. I like to be in a more relaxed setting at home. I'd rather do this at home and fellowship with people at home. But we do everything together, and I love it.
Yep. So and everything, and that means like we even talked about it so much on vacation. I know we had a lot of people that detach and they're like, "Oh, we just want to go with the kids," or without the kids, just us. Me personally, we didn't do vacations as a family. We are a big family. We didn't have that privilege, so we really take advantage of even things we do like as a family. As far as vacations, we do that all together. Once or twice, maybe we'll detach on our own, take 2 or 3 days away, but we really take the time to soak all of that in with the kids.
Yeah, because ultimately we only get them for a certain amount of time, and then they're going to say, "Hey, I want to go with the youth. Hey, I want to go with my friends. Hey, I want to do this." So I love that.
Camila's 10 years old, so that gives her, she's 5-6 years before she, it's scary to say, before she starts driving, and then you're no longer cool dad, right? Or you hope you still are, you hope you're still relevant, but you really want to instill as much as you can during that time.
I think if we continue doing this together as a family, they're going to want to stick with us.
Correct.
Doing the vacations, and then eventually they'll want to take their friends with us on these trips, which is more than okay with me.
And I think that's really kind of the goal, is try to retain so much of your kids before you release them, especially with so much craziness going on in the world right now. And that'll actually kind of lead up into the following couple questions, is try to hold on as much as you can and retain them, and retain as much wisdom and impart as much of godly wisdom and godly knowledge that, by the time they spread their wings and fly off and get married and start relationships, you've done all you can.
That's what the Bible tells us to do. It says, as you go to sleep, you teach your children, you walk with them, you tell them the ways of the Lord, you teach them. That is our responsibility as parents. That's what God told us. He said, these are your kids. Now walk, as you go to sleep, teach them these things as you walk. So how am I going to be doing that when...
But I'm so proud of you. You're doing so good on this. I thought that you were going to be nervous.
I can talk. You know I can rant.
Now. Rant. Yes, I should have known. Yeah, sorry, totally interrupted. But totally agree. So we really try to do as much, and it really comes down to ministry as well. One of my goals, one of my dreams, and I know it's going to happen here in the next couple of years, is for my kids to go out and do missions work with me. I've saw some of those pretty incredible things out in the mission field, and I think it's just wise that everything we teach our kids and everything they hear from the pulpit, everything they hear from home, everything they hear in the Bible, the Word, that they see that stuff in real life. I think the Word of God tends to settle in a different manner. So that's kind of one of our goals with the kids as they grow up. Okay, I had a couple questions come in, and one was, at this particular time in your life, being this far into your marriage, doing what you're doing with homeschool, with ministry, what are you enjoying most about it?
That I get to do it. That it's I enjoy most that I have the privilege to do it. That I get to do it. While I was home, our Christmas break right now, I enjoyed most being at home and doing what I should be doing all along, is taking care of the house, taking care of the kids. Just being home, cleaning and cooking and being home with the girls. And then you come home at the end of the day and we have family dinner. Mm-hmm. That is what I enjoy most, is that I get to do this, that this is like an honor.
Good, healthy family relationship.
Yeah. Because we didn't have that before. And now that we do, it's something that it may not seem like a lot, and it may seem something, so minor to somebody. But to me, I cherish this so much because we didn't have that before. And now that we do, it's something that I'm extremely grateful for. And I've told this to other girls. They're like, well, what's your favorite part about being a mom? I'm like, that I get to do this, that I get to be a mom, that I have the honor and privilege that God trusted me with this family to carry through, to take care of. And I'm more than grateful for that.
I think we take for granted the relationships we have and what it took up to build them to this point. So yeah. A lot of people just don't, I hear a lot of people's like, I got to go home, but I'd rather hang out in the office for a little bit longer because I don't really, I've kind of had enough of being around the kids, around the family. So I think we take that for granted, and I cherish that. That's really important to me because, like I said, 13 years in, that probably didn't change till about year 7 or 8 in our relationship. Yeah. And so we really try to soak up as much of that as we can.
I don't know if the only more that I'm doing that I didn't do before was actually homeschooling the kids. Something that I was terrified to do. Other than our 10-year-old decided to do 5th grade in the summertime so she could do 6th grade in the fall. I would have never agreed to that before. Mm-hmm. But now, because I know what the outside world is like, what the secular world is trying to push down our kids' minds, you just have to be extra vigilant. I think in this time, how much you have to be you should be involved from the beginning way more than we think we should be. I mean, with school, we've trusted everybody. We are trusting literally everyone with our kids except ourselves. Mm-hmm. We trust a nanny. We trust, everything that the doctor's telling you to do. We trust the teachers and everybody else who's telling you what you should be doing with your children that you were given by God, not by the government and whoever. Mm-hmm. They're not even ours. They're God's. God basically is trusting us with our kid, with his children, to raise them up the way that he would want us to raise them, the way he sees. They each have an individual purpose, and he trusted us to instill that and cultivate that in them. And so as a parent, you should be extremely involved in every area of your life, not a helicopter parent, mm-hmm. but be a parent who is involved, who knows. Like going to Barnes & Noble, I have to screen every single book before I allow my kids to look into it. There was a book that Avia's like, please let me look at it. Look at me, look at it. I was embarrassed looking at the pictures that they're allowing kindergartners to look at. And I had to screen that. So yes, as a parent, you should be constantly more involved than you think you should be.
Yeah, I think we've somehow accepted that school teachers are babysitters, and now we're having to do a little bit more work on the cleanup end just to be able to recover.
It's not that we've considered teachers babysitters. We've been told that we are not qualified to educate our own kids, that because the teacher went to a university, got some bachelor's, master's degree in teaching or whatever other area, and got
certificate of some sort.
certificate of some sort, child psychology development, that I'm not qualified to teach my own child, educate my own child. And so that means because I didn't go to a university, that's not teaching them to educate kids. The universities are basically teaching them to manage a classroom. I'm being told that because my kids are homeschooled, it's because they get one-on-one, and that's why the homeschool kids are so much smarter, and the education system is failing because it's that it's more classroom management rather than actually teaching your kids. No, yes and no, but also because the kids have smaller classrooms, and classroom management means if you're going crazy, they're just gonna maintain. That's it. That's all they're doing.
I know this is just an introduction video, but this subject is like my skin is crawling right now because of how much I want to say, and I think we'll save that for another episode.
Yeah.
But you're right. It's like you're what you're actually having to instill into your kids, rather than your kids' education is just being maintained in order for you just to test out and get your certificate at the end of your 12 years.
Yeah. And it's not to say that there's not good teachers out there. There is so many good teachers out there, and we know plenty of them. But the unfortunate part is that they're getting squeezed out, and the ones who have an agenda. Somebody said that, oh my goodness, what did he call them? What was that word? That they were out on the streets, but now they're inside the education system. Do you remember what that word was? No, but like the people who had their crazy ideas and everything that they wanted to be pushed on the agenda, they were out on the streets yelling it. But now they have gotten themselves into the education system. And because of that, I think that's what COVID did. More than anything, it woke up parents, and the parents got to hear what the kids were being taught in the schools. I had a girl who just finished high school, and she said she had to take a college course, and in order to get her degree and graduate, she had to take this college course, and this teacher didn't allow them to think anything else other than being just liberal mindset. He didn't even give them an opportunity to have their own thoughts. He said, you will write essays on these these topics, on these articles, and I don't care what your background is. This is what you're writing on. And in order for you to graduate, you had to take this class. And she's like, it was unfair because we couldn't be, the other kids were totally okay with it. But she's like, I have my own opinions, and I didn't even get to have that. The kids aren't being given their own opinion. Mm-hmm. The kids are being told, you think this way, no other way. Whereas what we want is we want our kids to have their own opinion and to question things that they're being told.
I love it. I know it. I love it. A lot of information. And I would love to continue to go into it because I think it's a really needed conversation more now than ever. We pulled our kids out of private school during COVID. My older one was at private school at the time. You couldn't pay us to homeschool. We yanked her out, realized how well she was doing. Then really more stuff started to come to light of what's already going on in the public school system. And I think coming here, we're going to have we're going to dissect it and have a real good conversation of, statistics, how kids do in and out, what are they doing, and everything that comes with it. Now, with all that said, I want to make it clear, I'm not anti-public school. I think you can do a lot in public school, but I think that as more and more opens up, there needs to be more discussed and more needs to be recognized and at least understood between the parents of what's really going on. And I think a lot of it has become more of a babysitting system. It's a lot more convenient for a parent to drop their child off at 7:00 and pick them up at 3:00. And it really, that's just the way that society's been created. Everybody, mom and dad both have a job, and it's more of a babysitting system that has, to some degree, indoctrinates your child. But again, we kind of deviated. We'll come back to it. Tell me a little bit more about what you envision for the kids, for the family in the next 5 to 10 years. What's the family future? What do you see it when it comes to what your relationship looks like with your kids? let's throw ministry in there, because I think it's a super vital part for us as the dynamic of our family goes.
I don't really ever think that far into the future.
I'm a planner.
You're a planner.
I think 2, 3, 5 years out.
No, I take it a day at a time. I just, for our family, I want our family to grow stronger. As a family, I want my kids involved in ministry wherever it is that they have a calling. I want my kids involved in serving the Lord. I'm not saying they have to be in some sort of ministry, but I do want them to be. I know that they each have a purpose for God, and I want to see them flourish in that purpose for God, whatever it may be. I know one of them could be on the worship team one day. The other one could be doing something, planning something in the back. And I know, and I'm okay with that. I just want to see my kids' purpose come to light. Fulfilled. I want it to be fulfilled. Yep. I want us to grow as a family in the knowledge of Christ. I want us to grow together in whatever mission field that God sees us, because I know it's only going to get more and more. And God is whatever God has for us. Honestly, I just want us to stay healthy. I just want us to be in a good place.
That's good. I'm happy with that. Lastly, I'm gonna close off because I don't want to take too much. The people have asked, when are you coming back on social media?
I'm not.
I think you're a social media influencer. You're not even on social media.
I don't like social media. I'm not coming back to social media. Or okay, I don't want to come back to social media. I'm not going to say I'm never. I don't like it.
Okay. She'll be back.
No.
Okay. Well, I really honestly appreciate you coming on. I know that you don't like being behind the camera, but I think you killed it. You did really well. I hope that as these things as this breaks loose and more comes out of it, we'll be coming on together in providing some value, whether it's family. I know we're probably going to talk a lot about homeschool kids and stuff like that, but really, really excited for this thing kicking off. I'm really excited for you having my back the entire time. I know I've been talking about it for months, been here doing the stuff, and this is the first time you're even in the studio, and the first time you're here and you're behind the mic. So that's pretty cool. Anyway, till next time, thank you. And I appreciate you guys being on the first visit of Purpose Driven. See you guys soon.